Shane van Gisbergen has already won twice this year, survived a crash that made NASCAR history, and pulled off a moment on pit road that nobody saw coming. And with only 4 regular season races left before the playoffs, where he stands right now could decide his whole year. Let's break down every twist of his 2026 season. Hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation news is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. Van Gisbergen's year kicked off back on February 4th at the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. He started 17th, finished 20th, and Brian Priest took that one home. It was just an exhibition, but it got the 97 Trackhouse Chevrolet rolling for the season. From there, Daytona Speed Weeks arrived. In duel number 1 on February 12th, Van Gisbergen crossed the line 6th. Then came the big one, the Daytona 500 on February 15th. He started 13th but slipped back to a 30th place finish. Tyler Reddick won that day, his first victory of the year, and as you'll hear, Reddick would end up being a name that kept popping up all season. At Atlanta on February 22nd, Van Gisbergen started 28th and drove all the way up to 6th. Reddick won again. Then, at the Circuit of the Americas on March 1st, Van Gisbergen looked strong, starting 13th and finishing runner-up to 2nd place. Reddick took that win too, but you know how NASCAR goes. The next few weeks got rough. Phoenix on March 8th, an 11th place finish behind winner Ryan Blaney. Then Las Vegas on March 15th, a tough 36th after starting 16th, with Denny Hamlin taking the win. Darlington on March 22nd brought a 14th place run from a 33rd starting spot, Reddick winning yet again. Martinsville on March 29th saw Van Gisbergen start 5th but fade to 11th, with Chase Elliott taking that checkered flag. Then came a stretch that really tested him. Bristol on April 12th ended in a 34th place finish after starting 33rd, Ty Gibbs winning. Kansas on April 19th, another 36th place day, Reddick again in victory lane, and Talladega on April 26th, Van Gisbergen finished 20th, while Carson Hocevar picked up his first career Cup Series win. At Texas on May 3rd, Van Gisbergen worked from 30th up to 17th, but Chase Elliott won. But here's the thing, everything changed on May 10th. At Watkins Glen International, Van Gisbergen didn't just run well, he dominated. Started from the pole, he led 74 of the 100 laps and beat runner-up Michael McDowell by 7. 288 seconds for his first win of the 2026 season. That made it 7 career Cup Series wins for him, and every single one has come on a road or street course. At Dover's All-Star Race on May 17th, a non-points event, he finished 19th, Denny Hamlin winning. Charlotte's Coca-Cola 600 on May 24th saw him start 3rd and finish 11th, Daniel Suarez taking that one. Then at Nashville on May 31st, Van Gisbergen posted his first top 5 finish of the season, coming home 5th, though Denny Hamlin won again. Michigan on June 7th and Pocono on June 14th were quieter weeks, with 30th and 31st place finishes respectively. Hamlin won both of those races too. Then, on June 21st, NASCAR made history and Van Gisbergen was right in the middle of it. The Onduril 250 at Naval Base Coronado in San Diego was NASCAR's first ever race at that venue, and Van Gisbergen won the pole. But on a lap 32 restart, Austin Hill's car slid into Trackhouse teammate Connor Zilisch directly in front of Van Gisbergen, collecting him in a multi-car wreck. He finished 38th. That crash produced the first red flag in NASCAR Cup Series history. Corey Heim won the race. What happened next is honestly incredible. Exactly 1 week after that Coronado wreck, Van Gisbergen bounced back at Sonoma Raceway on June 28th. And won. Starting 6th, he led 74 of 110 laps and held off Chase Briscoe by just 0:30.57 seconds for his second victory of the season. That was career win number 8, tying him with Tony Stewart for second on NASCAR's all-time road course wins list, just 1 behind leader Jeff Gordon's 9. After that high, Chicagoland on July 5th brought a 25th place finish, Chase Briscoe winning. At Atlanta again on July 12th, Van Gisbergen finished 6th, Ryan Blaney taking the win. Then on July 19th, something special happened at North Wilkesboro. It was the Cup Series first points race at that track in 30 years, and Van Gisbergen started 8th, led 49 laps, and finished 5th, his career-best Cup Series finish on a short track. Joey Logano won that day, and finally, the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis on July 26th. Van Gisbergen started 25th and finished 16th, his best ever result at that track, beating his previous best of 19th. But mid-race, there was a strange moment. He actually removed his steering wheel while exiting pit road and briefly drifted onto the infield grass before recovering. Corey Heim went on to win the race. So where does that leave him? Through the Brickyard 400, Van Gisbergen has 2 wins this season, Watkins Glen and Sonoma, and 2 poles at Watkins Glen and Coronado. He sits 15th in the point standings, 57 points above the playoff cut line. There are 4 regular season races left: Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, and Daytona. And here's the catch. Every road and street course on the schedule has already been run. The rest of the season is all ovals, which has historically been Van Gisbergen's weaker area, though he's shown real improvement there this year with those top 5 runs at Nashville and North Wilkesboro. So here's my question for you. With the rest of the season on ovals, does Van Gisbergen have what it takes to hold that playoff spot? Drop your take in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you're subscribed to NASCAR Nation News, because we've got a lot more coming. See you in the next one.